Looking at the length of the video, yeah, level 8 is quite a monster. But anywho, welcome back to the Link's Awakening playthrough, part 14. We're almost done with the game, guys. Just one more dungeon left to tackle, and we're on to the final boss.
Yay! Ah, that feels good, doesn't it, to be this far along?
Always does.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a play that's been going on for so long, which this isn't that case.
It hasn't gone on as long as certain other playthroughs have. In fact, I kind of think this one went by pretty quickly, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's true.
Although it's always a good feeling of relief when you finish a playthrough you've been on for months. I know, honestly, when I finished Twilight Princess, I enjoyed that Let's Play. It was one of my best, I would say, compared to some of my older work, but after I finished, I just jumped for joy saying, yes, it's done, so I can move on to something new.
For how long this game is, it shouldn't have taken months.
For Twilight Princess,
funny too.
Well, I was on and off, that's kind of why.
Yeah, true.
Okay, but anyway, it's funny because this is actually the same amount of parts as Link to the Past was, actually. This one is 15 parts as well. And yet we got this one done much faster than that playthrough, so...
Also, nice screen transition moonwalking there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that a lot in the playthrough.
But I think the reason also this one got finished faster is... We started on Link to the Past before you got it finished, so you had to go back, and then it took us a little longer to get back to it. This one, we didn't start until we had all of them ready.
Granted, all of the things that we added in the later parts because of that were pretty darn hilarious. And insightful.
Link to the Past was definitely one of our better playthroughs, I'm not going to lie.
Except for that ending, good grief, mister.
Yeah, that ending, I just look back like, oh, I don't even know what happened.
Scares, please.
That, and also I was so confused because I skipped past it and no one even knew why until I just looked back at our past.
Video and Justin's just gone, oh, don't look, don't look.
I looked only because I had no idea, and then I was like, oh, well, that was a jump scare for no reason.
Pretty much.
Well, to be honest, it's not going to be funny the second time, so it's not going to become a running gag. So.
Yeah.
I was honestly expecting that for a horror playthrough, not for a Zelda playthrough.
Why not a Zelda playthrough?
Well, it works both ways.
Well, it works in a way because you weren't expecting it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think it's for horror and not for Zelda, we should totally bring it back once we get to Majora's Mask.
Yeah, we'll have Floor Masters,
said that, people will be expecting it.
Floor Masters. Floor Masters. They'll do it for us.
No, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? They're not going to expect that. They're going to expect it to be blind. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, just for record, not every single last playthrough on this channel is gonna be blind, guys. Please.
Basically, if there are roars, it's not a blind playthrough.
Yeah, come on, please. No, we even say ahead of time too if it's going to be blind in the video title.
We get really sick of those comments. I'm sorry, we just do. I actually had to go back and address somebody for doing that earlier.
Yeah.
And next time somebody does that. And believe me, I have no problem doing this since we already made an announcement video regarding this. I'm sorry, but you're immediately being blocked.
Honestly, I'm just going to say at that point, we're just going to ignore your comment completely.
I mean, because we had people talking about Final Fantasy VII, we had someone complaining about Metroid Fusion.
Which is weird, because that one we already talked about doing, and that wasn't going to be a blind one, so that makes, and especially when Matt's already done a playthrough on this channel. So it's just, it's a little bit stupid when you have to keep on responding to those comments, which is why we'll just flat out ignore them. We don't want to be rude, but at the same time, we don't want to be dealing with a redundant thing.
I mean, that's not going to stop us from doing blind playthroughs, because again, there are a couple of ideas that we have in mind that could work out pretty well. Again, Zero Mission. I'm interested to see how that goes.
I'm actually trying to contemplate whether I'll do a blind playthrough for this channel or not. But yeah, this is the other thing you need that song for, and that's it.
Yeah.
Greetings, Crocodile. How are you doing?
Hey, and this thing was completely and utterly easy and pointless because of the level 2 sword and everything. But yeah.
Even without it, it's piss easy.
Yep.
What happens when Gleok's younger cousin really doesn't stand a chance?
Yep.
You have to wonder, how did that thing even get there?
Well, it's Turtle Rock, so it probably just moved.
Magic.
It probably moved from the Link to the Past setting, and then it just so happened to be put next to Link again.
What a coincidence.
Wasn't there
Giant Octorok in Minish Cap?
Wasn't there a Turtle Rock and Four Swords Adventures too? I don't remember.
I
I'm not sure.
don't think
Oh,
so.
Turtle Rock, yes, but the boss from it, I'm not entirely sure.
No, I don't think the boss would be the same. No.
Yeah, but Turtle Rock is.
But
In the same way that
regardless of the very similar level name, this dungeon is nothing like the one from Link to the Past. So thank God for that.
Well, also because of the fact that in the Link to the Past one, you had to use magic all the time, but here we don't even have magic in this game.
I think, honestly, though, this Turtle Rock is a little bit better than the one in Link to the Past. That's just me. I think it's right up there with level 6 as with being one of my favorite dungeons in the game, so...
Was that the bat from the well in A Link to the Past?
It looks
No,
like it, but no.
Or was
No,
it,
we
or was it
actually
a Via?
No, we actually already ran into him earlier in the playthrough.
Actually, even earlier in this part.
Because it's split into case. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would have been a Via, yeah. Okay,
it's something
I
different.
understand.
It's similar, though.
He is in the game, though, I'll tell you that.
He's in here
Okay.
3 times.
In fact, no, now that I think of it, we already did run into him in this part, we just completely ignored him.
Yeah, like I said, we did. Just we talked over it.
Oh, yes. Oh,
The
talk
flashing,
about not paying attention.
Yeah, the
Good
flashing.
grief.
Wow.
So I totally know what's going on. Yeesh.
Well, then you know more than me.
Well, to be fair, I'm the only one on the group who's played the darn game, so...
I think the only other closest one who
Right,
played it was
that'd be
my
the truth.
bad experiences with it. Like I've mentioned countless of times during the playthrough, so I don't want to repeat it too much.
Yeah.
Which is why if I ever really play this game, I would have to wait until I got 3DS to download it there, or just get the actual cart.
And practice, practice, practice.
For what? To play it by
Assuming
myself?
this-
Practice some more.
Assuming the save cartridge actually works.
Well, yeah, you got a point. Trying to get a Game Boy Color game with a good battery is a little harder to do nowadays. I've seen so many people have so much bad luck with it. Well, there's that off chance, you know.
Try a lot harder.
And again, I've never really tracked down handheld games, so that's kind of why.
Oh, but they're the best things to track down.
Suddenly, Potibos.
Because wherever you go for handheld games, they're not region locked, which is good, unless you're looking for PSP, in which case I feel sorry for you.
Are
Yeah,
Game
well,
Boy
anything
games
Sony
even
related
region
right now for handhelds or region
Game
locked.
Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance are all region free.
Same for
Okay.
DS,
Yeah.
actually.
Fantastic.
DS is
Oh,
also
wait a
region
second.
free.
Wait
3DS
a
is
second. I
not.
think I've already... I think I already answered my own question to that before, because I actually remember my grandma, like, when I was 10, she bought me a Japanese version of a Yu-Gi-Oh game. I was like, what?
Well, that's really weird.
As you do.
And at
I
work
mean-
at one time, I found a European version of Pokemon Red.
I mean, I have a Japanese copy
European
of,
version of Pokemon Red? That was the exact first game I ever owned.
Oh, what do you know?
What game is
And it was
this?
actually the European version.
Yeah, the European
reason.
version of Pokemon Red.
When I really think of it, I've seen a lot of people who've started with Pokemon Red as their first game, so...
Then again, you know, I've had friends who've had, you know, those 10-in-1 game cartridges, and they had one that had Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, and Green on it.
Oh wow,
Wow.
especially for
Right.
green. Because
They got a
that's
good
Japanese
one
only.
then.
Yeah, I just looked at it and I thought, wow, do not sell this.
Is that like
Yeah.
a
Usually
pirate
when
cartridge
I
or
get
something?
cartridges like that, it's like 10 different versions of Tetris.
Yeah, no,
Is that
It's
an official?
technically not an official cartridge.
yeah, I was
but-
gonna say that.
Oh, I get that.
You better believe it does work.
Yeah,
Definitely.
whenever you get those multiple ones, they're never official. It's just someone taking the games and just putting them all in one card.
But hold on to it. 'cause
Yeah,
sometimes
usually
they
it's all very crappy games.
Usually, but then you
And
have those
sometimes they
rare
put the
gems.
same. Sometimes they put the same game multiple times on the cartridge.
Yeah, we're looking at
That's
you
it.
NES rip-off systems. Have Mario Bros
Or
on
you
there
have the
100
ones-
times just to fill your 100
Or
game
you have
quota.
the moments where they go, okay, we've put on 4 Pokemon games, we've got no space for anything else. Buster Move 2.
Technically, I think there are compilation cartridges that are official, like
Yeah.
the Crash Bandicoot ones, for example, like the ones that have Crash Purple and Crash Orange on it or something.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
some of
Yeah,
them
I'm
are. I
pretty
think
sure
there
there
was
are
a
a few,
Sonic
but-
Advance and Sonic Spinball one as well.
Sonic, yeah, there was one of Sonic, Sonic Advance and Sonic Battle. I know there was that one.
Was
only
it
have
Sonic
I know
Battle?
the-
I couldn't remember
I know.
the pinball
There's one
game
of Sonic
or
Advance and Sonic Pinball Party.
Yeah, that's the
Definitely.
one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I know the Game Boy Advance did a lot of those, actually.
Yeah.
It's really nifty if you can find multiple in one cartridges. Annoyingly though, ROMs of those tend not to work.
Yeah, no, if they
I
do,
wonder
Collection,
why.
Bomberman Collection, I'm looking at you.
it's actually the same thing for the
I
Sonic
mean, have you
Advance
ever
and
looked
Pinball
at the
Party
code of one
collection.
of those multi-cartridges?
No. Enlighten me.
They're incredibly weirdly programmed.
Hmm?
In that, well, how do you put this? They basically just put all the games on the cartridge, and then they just hotlink it through some main menu. And those main menus cannot be decoded by any emulator.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
noticed.
wow.
I mean, the emulators will
Huh.
load the menus and open them up, but you can't really do much with them.
That's interesting.
Because I got that with
Huh.
the Sonic Advance and Sonic Pinball Party one, when I saw that. It's just that the games won't save.
I sort of half had that problem when I tried the Legacy of Goku 1 and 2,
Oh,
two in one pack.
That one I couldn't get the
Problem is,
load past
Legacy
these
of Goku
games.
1 works fine, Legacy of Goku 2 crashes at the world map.
Yeah, I got
It
the
also
same
happens
issue.
that those
So I got-
ROMs are
so I
usually
got a-
far larger than the norm is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There are some really good multiple in one packs that are just work brilliantly, and I go, well, that's good.
It just makes me think, though, if you actually had one of those ROMs and dumped it on an official cart, would it actually work?
Possibly.
I mean, I would try it, but I
It
don't have a
works.
dummy game to try it on. So I don't want to rip a game and then just lose my official game.
For a moment there, I didn't hear that as you said,
Wait.
I don't have a dummy game. I just heard that as, I would do that, but I'm not a dummy.
Well, that too.
You actually have one of those devices to dump those games then?
Well, the DS flashcards allow you, if you have the GBA slot in the DS, to rip your saves and everything, and some of those programs even allow you to actually rip the ROMs off there and put new ones on, in case it was
Oh,
a
fair enough.
flashcard or something.
Yeah.
Because I did own one of those devices for like a GBA and Game Boy Color.
Oh,
Yeah.
nifty.
They're
I
really
actually
useful.
attempted just programming Game Boy games for a while. Actually, really hard.
So I can imagine. I mean, I'm sure the biggest problem that often comes up is the fact that there's always the memory limit. So if you're hacking something or you're making something from scratch, you really need to keep cautious about what you can work with, because then there's only a certain amount of space you can actually work with in the end. If that made any sense at all.
Yeah.
No, it's completely fair what you're saying.
Yeah, for
Also,
layman's terms, I mean, we
freedom of
understood it.
sound.
Size limitations are a huge thing.
Yeah, size limitations, you can't really do much. It's self-explanatory. I've had that issue before with a lot of things, actually. Like the stage builder in Smash Bros. Brawl was the same thing. You find workarounds. Like there's a program online where you can just build your own stages and then put them on an SD card. Works the exact same way. Except there's no
I remember
limits.
things- I remember somebody designing like a Mega Man X highway scene stage with doing that or something.
Yeah, you can design a lot
And
of
they-
stuff for it because of that.
They even put the highway music on there somehow too.
Just,
Also,
last
you
piece of
can
party
import
game.
music for Brawl. You just can't necessarily import textures without hacking the game. as
Yeah, true. Which is why you don't really see many people do that unless they're actually using a hacked version of the game with homebrew channel and such.
much.
Also,
Yeah,
that was the weirdest
that's
place to put a
also-
piece of heart right outside the dungeon. Reference to the original Turtle
And then
Rock.
they suddenly put a
guess.
part there too,
Yeah,
which makes no sense.
it doesn't make any sense. This one was easier to find than the heart piece in Link to the Past, only simply because this one was out in the open. The one Link to the Past, you had to go back to Light World. And not many people would think of that the first time.
But yeah, all 12 pieces of heart obtained.
Yep.
Awesomeness.
One
Excellent.
heart away now from having full hearts. Which we're gonna have to repeat this dungeon.
Really?
Again,
Guys will cooperate.
But you're taking the cheaper way out, getting them all in a corner.
yeah. Well, no, they just sort of ended up doing that anyway. I didn't lead them in there. They just sort of have an AI where they do whatever the hell they want. So
Yeah, you just got extremely lucky that they decided to go towards the corner and sit.
I don't like bosses that use bombs like that. I really don't.
Dodongos are bearable, that nonsense, not so much.
Yeah. Thank God I can carry over 50.
Yeah, true.
Whereas in Zelda 1, I can only carry up to like 8 or 16.
16.
Or so.
Yeah, 16 the max, yeah. Which is always annoying. And
Well,
then when you
it's
have
not
to go
so
out your
annoying.
way to find bombs, no matter what.
Well, it's not.
It's a
not,
memory limitation. Eh.
Yeah, for the most
It's not
part, memory.
It's not so annoying though if you can exploit this trick where you bomb it in front of their face and then
Yeah.
kill them off with a sword, and then they always drop bombs. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and using that trick makes it easier.
It does.
But that's if you're dealing with the dongos. If you like blow up a wall and you don't have much at all, then that's gonna be hard. Gans Castle, we're looking at you.
Which is
Is that-
why I keep on suggesting when you play A Link to the Past, use the Pegasus boots!
Yeah.
I often wonder though, is that a glitch that they did that, or is that intentional design to hold
It's-
the donkey trick?
No, I think that's part of it. Because, I mean, in the game they say Dodongo hates smoke. So
Yeah.
that ends up being the simplest means of... You're fighting a boxing glove wielding aeronautics pilot squirrel thing. I'm confused.
Don't
That's
forget the
Um,
punching gloves.
very good description of
Don't
it.
forget
Thank you.
the punching gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, and if he hits you once, he actually sends you way back to the entrance of the dungeon.
Yeah,
Good.
so don't get hit.
Oh, well, no wonder he has the warp for it. You can abuse stuff like that. Gosh darn cheater, ugh.
Exactly.
Also, this is what got me stuck in the dungeon for a long time.
Yeah, and this is what gets people stumped too, because if you hit the switch early, because you have to actually leave the dungeon and come back inside, that switch resets. So you hit the switch, you leave to go to the other part of the dungeon, and it's reset and you don't know why.
This is why I advise paying attention to the map.
Yeah, because
That's always good advice.
that's the most annoying part about that whole entire dungeon right there. Just having to remember that switch is actually hit, and then you leave and come back and it's reset. So this is probably one of the dungeons you'll actually get real good use out of that warp point. Just for that reason
And
alone.
the Switch is reset, hasn't it?
No. Because the funny thing is, when you leave the dungeon, it'll reset the switch. But if you warp back with the second song, it acts like you're still in the dungeon, so it doesn't reset.
Man, does the magic rod kick so much ass
And
in
this
game.
is actually a good magic rod. This is the magic rod with the firepower, but not as bad as it was in Zelda 1.
Yeah, that was
Dude,
one thing I noticed a
you've
lot in
never-
Zelda 1 that honestly
You-
I felt compelled not to get
Yeah.
You
the
never
magic
want
book because
to
it
use
always
sword ever
ruined
again.
the way it functioned, I
Yeah.
thought.
Unless it's 100% completion, actually, it's best to actually skip that magic book.
But yeah, I never used the sword again except for the final boss with this. It's so,
Good grief.
Well, it's almost, actually, isn't it as powerful as a level 2 sword?
I think it's even more powerful because it instant kills some enemies. Even a
That
fun fact.
does
it
sound
even-
powerful.
a fun fact, it even literally kills cuckoos and dogs.
Yeah, so if you want to kill a chicken without
Is it?
actually having to kill you, use the magic
Anyone
rod.
else notice that it's shooting off hook shots?
Yeah, like you can literally bone the cuckoos and dogs and they die.
And I see what
It's
you're
firing
meaning. It's
off
just
hook shots.
they're using the exact same animations to hook shot for firing, so it just looks awkward. Looks like you're throwing your hook
it looks
shot.
like an upside. It looks like an upside down sword. I know.
Well, the
Except
magic
it's-
rod
You're
does.
doing it wrong.
The magic rod does, but we were talking about when you throw the fire.
Anybody want to see my magical rod, ladies?
Um,
No, now here's your magic book to make it worse.
No! No!
Come on, take a little squeeze.
No.
How do you do?
Rated E for no one. Get out of here.
Where's the end
I need an adult.
But Wecker, that's the problem. He is an adult.
Now we can finally go to the stairs.
But now
I'm
that
sorry,
you
I-
have the magic rod, you
I
actually
had
melt
to make.
things.
I had to make the reference. I couldn't help it.
Well, technically you didn't. You decided to anyway.
It's this
Force
mini
of
boss
habit.
again.
Nope. Magic Rod does nothing to that.
Yeah, no, Magic Rod.
The rod,
reflect
it
off
does
of it.
nothing.
Not the rocket knockman time is still easier than you.
Then again, the sword doesn't seem to be doing much because you're not hitting it in the back.
Yeah.
There we go.
Once you hit in the back, it's fine.
Was that literally a one-hit KO?
No, two
That's
hits.
a 2-hit KO, but yeah,
Okay.
close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Yeah.
Now that
Also,
noise I
it's
keep
double.
Mm.
that noise I keep hearing, which goes bop 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 bop, is that the ocarina doing that,
It's your compass.
I think so.
or is it the?
Oh.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
whenever there's a key, it
basically,
was chime.
Yeah, if there's a key or a that makes that chime. This is the first game that actually made the compass useful.
What you don't know is the compass actually has a little noise thing inside of it. That's why it keeps on chiming.
Okay,
It's kind of
that
like a
makes
pager.
sense. I was curious. The reason I thought it was the ocarina is because I was thinking back to BS Zelda, where every time you're in a screen that has a bombable wall or a secret passage, it makes a chime when you've got the red ocarina.
Well, that's
Oh, that
interesting.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they gave the ocarina an upgrade in BS Zelda, and I remembered that, and that's what I thought was going on.
So wait, the whistle is even more useful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Not that it wasn't useless in Zelda 1, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Also, don't touch those things, because it has another one of those annoying text boxes, and ugh.
And it doesn't matter if you already read
Another
it; it'll
one?
keep on telling you. So
Like
this one's
that.
probably the worst. Yeah, this is probably the worst one, just because it keeps on repeating and repeating and repeating. You just want it to stop.
Also, fun
Legend
fact.
of Zelda Teletubby version.
But anyway, fun fact. I think this boss does the most damage to you out of anything else in the entire game.
Yeah.
And you're fighting with the fire.
Like
you're
with-
fighting it with
With the
Magic Rod.
normal tunic, what does he do? Like
This
6
seems
hearts of damage or something?
counterintuitive, Ken.
He does 4 hearts of damage with the normal tunic. Yeah.
Oh, it's 4. Okay. I thought it was 6 for some reason. But yep, that was another
but he
boss.
still dies ridiculously quick. So.
Yeah. And then that's
Still
our
not
final
somebody you
heart.
want to keep within. Yeah. Still not something you want to keep within your distance, though.
Oh yeah, you still want to keep
Yeah.
your distance, no matter if you have the blue tunic or not.
I get it.
Thunder drum.
And now we have all the instruments, so time to make an 8-bit masterpiece. Kind of.
An 8-bit mess.
But yeah,
The songs would sound
Time
like
to
better
get
than
that.
8-bit, yeah.
Lester, time to get on Mario Paint and make some tunes.
Hey, it has like 8
Egg.
more bits, so there you go.
I love how just
So,
before the part ends, it just goes egg. By the way, plot.
Yeah.
yep. Port finale coming up. Yes, port finale. I just said that.
Finale, the favorite of numbers. It's my favorite number.